Common Core State Standards, Math, 7th grade, Expressions and Equations 4, Algebra 2A, and we're still talking about two-steps inequalities. And they're very, very much like equalities, but there's a little bit of a snag here, but we'll come across it, and I hope you remember it. So we have 7 minus 2x is greater than 11. So we need to solve this, and two steps means there are two operations or two steps to solve this. And so we're going to look at the constant. We're going to look at the x side first, and which is this side. So we're going to subtract 7 on both sides. And when we subtract 7 on both sides, we're left with negative 2x, and 11 minus 7 is 4. So it's greater than 4. Now, this is the tricky thing, so pay attention. So we're still working on the x side, and x is being multiplied by negative 2. So to undo it, we divide by negative 2 on both sides, because we're keeping these things in balance. And you're going to divide that, and you're left with x, and this here would be a negative 2. But here's the tricky thing. When you are dividing by a negative, as in this case, we're dividing across the sign by a negative 2, you have to flip this sign here. So instead of it being greater than, it's going to be less than, because subtraction or negative is also the opposite. So make sure you do that, because that's a little trick thing. That's the only thing different. So make sure you pay attention to it. We will be looking at it again. So anytime you multiply or divide by a negative across an inequality, then you have to flip the sign. So the answer is x is less than negative 2. So let's do our graph. We have a graph, 0, 2, negative 2. And we have, it says less than negative 2, so our answer is here. But it is not filled in because it does not equal negative 2. It's just less than negative 2. But it includes everything less than negative 2. So it includes negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. But it does not include negative 1, 0. So it goes down infinitely long. So let's do another one, because it's quite tricky. And so here's a division problem. And it goes x divided by 2 minus 5, or subtract 5, is less than negative 8. All right, so we're starting on the x side, and we're going to take care of the constant first. Oh, and so we're going to add 5 to both sides. Okay, and when we do that, we clean this up. We got x over 2, or x divided by 2, is less than negative 8 plus 5, different signs. So you subtract them, you get a 3, and the 8 takes it, bringing back our rules for negatives. And now we are going to look at the x side still. And x is being divided by 2, so to get rid of it, you would multiply by 2, because you do the opposite on both sides. And so we have x, and negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. But you remember our trick. When you are dividing or multiplying, you are not. So that's no trick here, because it's just a positive. Sorry about that. Hope you saw that. So it's x is less than negative 6. So we're going to graph that. 0, 6, negative 6, and we're at negative 6. It's not equal to, so it's an open hole there, and it goes lower, so it includes negative 7, negative 8, all of those numbers, but it does not include negative 5, because that's greater than. Okay, I want to do it one more for you, and I'm going to squeeze it in quickly. Okay. And we're going to do another one, because I think it's important to do this one. So number 5 would be 8 minus x over 3 is less than or equal to 7. So this is a minus. Whoops. All right, so we're going to start on the x side, and we're going to get rid of the 8 first. So subtract 8 on both sides. Remember, our negative rules are coming in, and we're left with negative x over 3 is less than or equal to negative 8 minus negative 8 and 7, different signs, so subtract, and you get a negative 1. All right, so Now, you're still working on the x side here, and it is being divided by a -3. So you need to multiply both sides by a -3 because the number takes a sign. And so we subtract that, balance that, we get x. And -1 times -3 is a +3. But because we are dividing across the inequality by a negative, you're going to flip the sign so it's greater than or equal to 3. And that's the answer. So we're going to graph it in, and we have 0, 3, -3. And so it's greater than 3, so the answer is here, but it's also equal to, so we're going to fill it in. And it's greater, so the arrow goes this way. So it includes 4, 5, 6, but it does not include 2 or lower. Okay, thank you.